Hey everybody, movie reviewer next door here, and I'm back with another review. This time I saw Shut In. This is a 2022 thriller drama film directed by DJ Caruso, and it stars Rainey Qualley, Vincent Gallo, Jake Horowitz, and Luciana Vendette. In this film, a young single mother is held captive along with her two children by a violent ex and must plot their escape before it's too late. So, what did I think of this film? Well, I'd say this is another win for the Daily Wire. And before anybody says anything, let me just. There you go. Before anybody says anything, I'm not the biggest on the Daily Wire. There's exactly one person that I actually watch from there, and that is Brett Cooper. But there's a ton of people on either side of the political spectrum that watch Brett Cooper because she's fun. I like her delivery. She seems cool. But this film has absolutely no political messaging, as did Run, Hide, Fight. This is their first 100% original, their first Daily Wire film specifically. Like, Daily Wire was involved in the production. Run, Hide, Fight was a film that they bought the streaming rights to. This is their first original. And I think they did a pretty good job. Is And I'll talk more about that. Let me get to the cast. Rainey Qualley plays Jessica. She is a single mother, a young single mother. She had her kids when she was a teenager, or had at least the first kid, or Lainey. Rainey had Lainey. Uh, when she was a teenager, she's a young mom. She's getting over being addicted to drugs. Her boyfriend is very, um, very much a piece of shit. Rainey Qualley, I have never seen her before. I know her sister Margot Qualley has been in some things. Rainey has been in a few movies. Uh, this is her first like starring role though. Like lead role film. I'm pretty sure, and I think she does an admirable job. I don't. I do think there are a couple moments where she doesn't fully work, or sometimes where I feel like her acting isn't 100%. But overall, I enjoyed her as a lead, and I think they did a good job of making a realistic enough female character to the point where I was like, oh, her what she does in the film makes sense. Um, Vincent Gallo plays Sammy. He's basically a drug addicted pedophile that through dialogue we learn he messed with her young daughter, which is fucked. They handle it well though. Um, Vincent Gallo is a well-known cult film actor. He's been in a lot of well-known films. He's in The Funeral. He's in Freeway 2 with Natasha Lyonne. He's in Goodfellas. He's in Buffalo 66. That's possibly his most well-known indie film. Um, he's a good actor, and I think he does a really good job in this. He is a big shining light acting-wise, and I think that's one of my issues with this film is he should have been the main villain. Like, I feel like it would have been a lot. Maybe for some people that would have been too far to make him the main villain, even though he's like messed with the woman's daughter. But every time he was on screen, I was like, "Fuck yeah, I want this guy dead." So yeah, I think he did his role very well. Jake Horowitz plays Rob. The He's the abusive ex-boyfriend. Sorry if you can hear that. Um, I think he does fine. He works. At no point was I like his acting is bad or anything. It's just I was kind of wishing he doesn't have as much screen time as Vincent Gallo really. So I got to know more than Rob, but he still did a good job. And Luciana Vendette plays Lainey, the older daughter that's basically helping Jessica to try to escape from the closet the entire time. Um, as child actresses go, I think she did a pretty good job, and yeah, she's a good child actress. I don't think there were really any points where I hated her or anything. But yeah, Shut In. This is the Daily Wire's first like produced movie, since all the people want to say Run Hide Fight was produced by them when it wasn't. It was distributed. This is their first original. One of the main things I can say to this movie that many people can see as a flaw is that it is not that original. When you go into this, it's very much your typical stuck in one like chamber movie where you're mostly stuck in one location the entire time. We never move away from this house. At least the house is interesting looking. I like that type of structure. But for at least 50-ish minutes of the movie, you are in this no, more like an hour. An hour-ish of this movie, you are in this closet with her or this pantry with her, and I think they make a good use of the space. I think uh they use some very interesting cinematography that keeps things visually interesting without your mind wandering too much. Like certain times where characters are talking from a different part of the house, and then the camera will go up to that part of the pantry, even though we can't see it. I think that was good cinematography in this film. But I do want to say, even though I did not enjoy this nearly as much as Run Hide Fight, I do think the Daily Wire knows what a good film is so far, because this is a well-made film. It's very well made. Yes, obviously it's has a lower budget than a lot of films, and if you go directly from like a Marvel movie or John Wick Chapter 4 to this, you're gonna notice a difference in how it's shot, how the production is, the fact that you're in this one location the entire time. But to be honest, it doesn't really bother me because I got actually really engrossed into the story. I enjoyed our main character. I wanted her to get out alive. The villain characters are hateable, but not so much that it's like a farce. And I think DJ Caruso was a good director for this, who is no stranger to thrillers. Thriller wise, he directed The Salton Sea. Um, he directed Disturbia, Eagle Eye, Taking Lives. Like, definitely no stranger to the thriller genre. He also did an I Am Number 4, Triple X, Return of Xander Cage, Redeeming Love, Two for the Money. Um, I have only seen Eagle Eye. His of his movies, I have only seen Eagle Eye. I do want to see Disturbia for sure. Um, Eagle Eye, I did really enjoy, and I will say I enjoyed Eagle Eye more than this. I'm not saying they are kind of going for different things though. Eagle Eye is going for like a bit more of a Hollywood like epic proportions type of thing, but it is a different thing. But I do think DJ Caruso was the right choice for this. I think his direction works very well for this to make use of the space and not keep you bored. I like that this film didn't try to go like 2 hours long. It is an hour and a half on the dot with credits. Perfect length for this type of film. If a film like this were like 2 hours, I would have been bored and my rating would have definitely gone down. The score by Mondo Boys, who also did the score to Run Hide Fight. I think they did it again. While not, I wouldn't say it's as good as the score to. Wait, I wouldn't say it's as good as the score to that, but it is still really good. These guys did the score also to Phoenix Forgotten, a found footage film, I think. She Dies Tomorrow, Fat Man, which I also really loved the score to Fat Man. I do think Mondo Boys are getting somewhere. Mortuary Collection, underrated horror anthology from a few years ago for Shudder with Clancy Brown. Uh, this is I do think Mondo Boys are going places, and I hope they keep doing compositions because their work has been very impressive. It hasn't been like overblown, like too over the top. It's just right for what the films are going for, and it never like the worst thing a score can do is be distracting and not fit. And so far, their scores have fit really well. With Run Hide Fight, you had kind of the patriotic tones and the like drums, and it was subtle, and it almost blended in with the movie in a good way. And here you have kind of a, I guess like a violin type thing, and it works for what the characters are feeling and for what's going on in the film. Um, Again, the location that this is shot in is very nice. Um, I think it was I don't know where this was shot, but very nice looking. The dialogue actually as well between the mother and the daughter, I don't think I'm glad that they didn't like try to make her like a perfect mom. She's obviously like a mom who got a bit in over her head. She had a kid way too young. Um, they make her feel like a real human, you know? Like they allow her to make mistakes and she apologizes to her children. Like whenever she yells at them, they don't make everybody over the top and annoying. And I like that. That's what you should do in a film like this. And in a film like this, if the acting were bad and the dialogue was bad, then I think you would have definitely lost me. But the dialogue and acting here are really quite good. As for cons, um, Jake Horowitz, again, his acting is good, but he's barely in the movie. He has 2 scenes. He is, well, 2 scenes. He's in like 4-ish minutes near the beginning of the film and about 10-ish minutes at the end for the climax. So it's it's kind of hard to say that he is our main villain when Vincent Gallo is in quite a bit more of the film. And I was expecting Vincent Gallo to just be there for like 5-ish minutes. He was in it for a bit more than that, which I'll give him credit for that. Um, Also something about that I've seen a lot of people say that this is a super Christian film. It really isn't. Not like there's a small part where she finds a Bible that her nana left behind. I'm guessing her mom or grandma left behind because it's her grandma's house that has like some money in it, and it also has like the money is left on specific pages, and she starts reading some of it out loud, and some of the lines that she brings up connect into what the story is. Um, and even like her recipe. I will I'm it's not a spoiler. The recipe reads that the apple because the daughter keeps bringing apples, but she keeps throwing them away because she bites into them and there's a rotten bit. And then later she realizes, oh, the apples that have a little bit of them that's rotten are the best ones to make apple butter with. You just cut that bit out and you can make them into apple butter, which I was like, oh, there's an extra meaning to that because she's kind of that. She used to be addicted to drugs. She got into rehab and now she's a better person now that you've cut that bit out of her. I actually liked that. That was like good reincorporation of the beginning of the movie when the daughter's picking the apple, bringing that back, and the talk of being a drug addict. I actually did like that. There, this film I would never be able to call this a Christian movie at all. It really isn't. If even if you did call it a Christian movie, I'd say Christian movies are getting better for sure and more accessible because I don't think you'd have to be conservative, Christian, or anything like that to enjoy this movie. But other cons with the film, um, there was a moment where Qualley had to react to getting a nail, like, in her hand because the boyfriend, like, nails boards on the door uh, of the the pantry in order to keep her in there, and he ends up nailing a nail through her hand. The closest this film gets to Christian symbolism is she gets, like, a splinter in one hand and a nail in the other hand, and then she has the stigmata, basically. But it didn't really bother me, I was like, "Oh, interesting." More like that, I didn't, like, overreact like a lot of people probably would. They'd be like, "Oh, there's Christian." But the bit where she has to act like where she's crying there, I will say is her weakest bit of acting, and I wasn't a fan of it. But for the rest of the movie, she's pretty good. Um I will say I was a little bit disappointed that the pantry itself didn't really have much to do with the end of the movie, as in, like, with our villain. Uh, I was kind of expecting that, but it didn't really happen. I was a little disappointed by that. But overall, this is just a pretty well-made, low-key, one-location thriller. And I really do like DJ Caruso. I wanna check out his other work. I wanna watch Disturbia, Salton Sea, maybe I'm Number 4 as well. But, yeah, I enjoyed the movie, and I hope others will too. So, that was my review of Shut-In. If you've seen the film, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. If you have any recommendations, put them down there as well. And, movie reviewer next door.